2006 Evo 6 RS, sent to us from the US Virgin Islands to do a full custom build. The full specs of the car: we have our AG spec 2-liter short block utilizing a Manley billet crank. We're using custom GRP aluminum rods and a AG spec Lysco piston. Our head consists of an in-house port, mild port, nothing too crazy. We're using a Kelford 288 camshaft, SuperTech custom spring rate springs and retainers. Our turbo kit is built by Rich Autoworks, Raw Racing. It's a custom AG spec turbo kit forward facing. We're using a Precision 7685 Gen 2 turbocharger. Right now the car is producing around 1,255 wheel horsepower on 64 pounds of boost. Originally we weren't going to bring the car to the shootout this year. The plan was to finish the car and deliver it to the owner back to the Virgin Islands. The last minute he decided it would be a good thing to debut the car at the shootout because it's a very unique car, a very unique build, and that's one of the largest, it is the largest DSM Evo gathering of the year. It's a very close community. We've been going to this race, like I said, for about 10 years now. We've gotten to know a lot of the people that come there every single year, so you know, just to see the same faces and be able to race with people that you've grown to know throughout the industry. You know, you see them once or twice a year. You know, it's pretty cool. You know, it's like a reunion of the same race cars every year. We did zero testing with the car before we left because of the whole transfer case situation that we did, you know, doing the custom subframe, putting the Evo 8 transfer case in the car. Literally up until the last day before we left, we were finishing up the last minute stuff on the car. We were welding brackets, bracing the seats to the cage, mounting the seats, putting in the seat belt harnesses, like mounting everything literally up until the last minute before it went in the trailer. Once we arrived there, the shootout is a 3-day event. The first day, on Friday, we end up going to the Buschur racing facility where they have the Dyno Day and car show. Previously with our green Evo 8 street car, or race car, I'm sorry, we set the dyno record there, making mid-900s on, that's a heartbreaker dyno. Everybody knows that dyno makes hundreds of less horsepower than a Dynojet or most anybody's dyno around. So nobody's been able to crack 1,000 horsepower on that dyno before. We set the dyno record about 2 years ago. We set the record on it, and up until just a couple weeks ago, Jimmy from Buschur Racing finally made 1,052 wheel horsepower on the dyno, which he reclaimed the record. And then shortly after we put the car on the dyno, we made 1,079 wheel horsepower on around 62, 63 pounds of boost. Able to raise the boost and get some traction on the dyno, I'm sure the car will make over 1,100 wheel on that dyno. So as of to date, we are the highest horsepower 4-cylinder or Evo that has ever been on that dyno. I mean, to give you an example, the horsepower differences between the dynos, our Dynojet and our facility here is an all-wheel drive Dynojet. We made 1,255 horsepower on right around the same boost that we made 1,079 wheel horsepower on Buschur's dyno. Which, again, that's the heartbreaker dyno, and nobody's able to ever make those kind of numbers before on that dyno, so that was a pretty big accomplishment for us. Matter of fact, the owner of the car was there the night before hanging out with them, and they told him he'd be lucky to even see 900 wheel horsepower with that turbocharger on that dyno. They told him for sure he wouldn't be able to make 1,000 wheel, so to see 1,079 wheel like right out of the box was pretty impressive for us. The owner was very happy, as so were we. So after a pretty successful time at the Dyno Day, we loaded up, we went in preparation to get everything ready for the track. We set up to go ahead and make our first test pass. So the first test pass ever in the car spun really bad. I think we had a 166/60 foot, which is terrible for an Evo. We normally go 1.3s. Car spinning very badly, fighting me like crazy. We went 890 at 176 on the first hit. second pass, we pull up, you know, we came back, checked everything, everything's good to go. So we go to make another test hit, and the same thing, the small tires were just fighting me the entire way. We went a slightly better 60 foot, so the car got really squirrely, really crazy on me. I decided to stay in it anyway. I went 8.8 at 176 on that pass, riding the limiter through the traps because of the tires. I promised the owner that weekend we'd try our best to at least get the car to make an 8-second pass. So, you know, I went ahead and stayed in it, and we made 2 8-second passes, but there was no sense in to keep beating and tearing up the car because we could clearly see where our issues were. So the weekend, you know, it prevailed. It showed that, you know, the car is capable of doing what we set out to do. So we just got some more testing, you know, get some tires on it and go from there. If I had to figure, like a good hope what this car is going to run in the future is somewhere between 820s and 830s at probably about 180, 182 mile an hour if I had to guess. I know in some videos, if you watch the car from our test passes, you'll see that it was hopping all around, and a lot of people believe that there's suspension issues with the car, but in these cars, the all-wheel drive cars, when you unload the drivetrain, when they spin the tires really bad, it unloads all the weight and it'll cause the car to hop. This is the same type of suspension setup we've been using on our drag cars for years. We've never had these issues before, so it's pretty common once they lose traction to do this. So we're going to get some tires on the car, try to get it dialed in, and you'll be able to see much cleaner passes out of the car. Because of the chassis that this car is, it doesn't allow us to fit a 26-inch slick under this car, which is what we normally run for this power level. You know, we run our 800-900 horsepower cars on a 24.5, you know, and that's pretty much the power limit where we can get away with these tires. Anything above that, you have to run a 26, and we knew going into this that was going to be one of our downfalls. We were just, you know, hoping to get away with something a little better than what we did, but unfortunately we can't. So we're gonna have to reach out. We didn't want to cut the car up. The car is a full street car, 100% original. We didn't want to cut it up like a race car, but you know, we're gonna have no choice but to trim the wheel well. So we're gonna try to get some, you know, carbon side skirt pieces made to be identical replicas to what is on the car now, just a little bit larger so we can fit a tire under there. As far as future plans go, we're going to see how quickly we can try to get the modifications done to the wheel wells to get the tires on here. If we can get them done soon enough, hopefully we're going to attend the FL2K event. I think that's about 2 months away from now, so it should give us enough time to do whatever tweaking and modifications we have to do.